Hi everyone, Dr. Ray Benedetto here, coming to you with another short health video. Hopefully this one will hit home with a lot of you as it hits home with me. We're going to just dive right in today and have at it. So today we're going to talk about Alzheimer's disease. We're going to talk about Alzheimer's, dementia. We can kind of, consider them one and the same. If I use one word interchangeably, we're kind of talking about the same stuff. Alzheimer's is the big one though, right? So we're going to talk a little bit today about the problem with Alzheimer's, how you get it, the latest research, what you can do to prevent it, because it's getting big. It's getting really big and it's becoming a big problem. Everybody has heard diabetes, right? Diabetes is going through the roof. Diabetes is going to bankrupt our medical system. You've heard me say those things. The thing with Alzheimer's and dementia, especially as our population ages, is it's right behind diabetes. It's a really close second, and it's becoming very problematic. A couple of quick statistics I want to throw at you just to try and make this seem real. This is from 2013, actually, so this was a good 5 years ago, in the journal Neurology, right? So we're talking about a neurological condition here. This is the journal for it, right? 2013. That by 2050, okay, so that's, 32 years away as I'm recording this video, there's going to be a 500% increase in the cost for Alzheimer care, okay? So obviously as the cost increases, that means the number of cases has increased, right? Estimates here are that the number of cases of Alzheimer's disease is going to triple by 2050. So upwards of 14 million people by 2050. So a 500% increase in Alzheimer's spending. Obviously, where does all this come from, right? Medicare, Medicaid typically, because this is an older population. The cost of care in the U.S. by 2050, just for Alzheimer's alone, 1.1 trillion with a T, trillion, 1.1 trillion. That is a significant burden on the healthcare system from Alzheimer's and dementia, which again, as we're going to talk about here, is not entirely unpreventable, okay? Again, numbers I'm looking at here, about $700,000-800,000 a year. I'm sorry, that's for 10 years, $100,000 a year. And the typical person that lives with it will live for 7 to 10 years before passing. So $100,000 per year in costs is what it costs people to pay for Alzheimer's care. So if anyone who's got 800 grand sitting around in the bank, they're going to need it if they get Alzheimer's. So it's a significant problem. Right, significant problem. Let's talk about the important stuff. What are some of the causes of it? What can I do to prevent it? Right, because that's we talked about a cancer video not too long ago. What's the easiest way to treat it? Not to get it in the first place, right? Especially with these chronic degenerative disorders, especially chronic neurological degenerative disorders. Two biggies, right? Two big causes to Alzheimer's disease. What we're seeing show up in the literature, okay, in the research, is Alzheimer's disease is being called type 3 diabetes, okay, because there is a significant correlation between elevated insulin levels, okay, insulin is the hormone that helps to regulate blood sugar, glucose, significant correlation between elevated insulin levels and you developing Alzheimer's disease, okay. 2011, right? The journal called Alzheimer's disease by the doctor here, claiming that Alzheimer's disease is a type of brain diabetes, so type 3 diabetes, and insulin resistance of the neurons, that's brain cells, right? So using a very simplified model, right? Here's how it works. Increased carbohydrate consumption, that we're going to come back to that, that's the issue. Increased carbohydrate consumption increases insulin production and release, leading to insulin resistance, especially in the brain. Okay? What happens is this damaged neurons, and neurons cannot make energy. They cannot make ATP. They don't have the capacity to function and make energy. Okay? which leads to neuron death. Okay, so it leads to the death of the neuron. Here's the take-home message. Huge correlation between insulin levels and Alzheimer's disease. How do we limit insulin levels and keep them in check, especially in our brain? We stop eating the junky carbohydrates. We stop consuming refined carbohydrates, breads, pastas, sugars. Huge correlation. The research is telling us this. We're seeing it. This is entirely within our control, especially as you get older. You need to limit these, if not eliminate them completely. There was a direct correlation between developing Alzheimer's and carbohydrate consumption in all these studies. Okay? That is something easy that we can all do to prevent us from getting Alzheimer's. Would you rather have pasta for dinner, or do you want Alzheimer's disease when you're 70? That's the question, right? Very preventable. The second problem is, and I just touched on it briefly, is cell death, right? So what happens is the part of the cell that gets damaged is something called the mitochondria. The mitochondria is the part of the cell where the energy is made. That's the part of the cell that gets damaged, and so brain cells can't make energy. They can't make energy, they're going to die, and they're going to release things called free radicals. Most of you have heard of free radicals. So again, free radicals can be managed and contained, and mitochondria can be kept healthy with proper diet and certain nutritional supplements. We're not going to get into some of those here, but most of you have heard of, free antioxidants, right? So we need proper levels of antioxidants. Lastly, I'll kind of leave you with this. Just like we talked about in a previous video with cancer, prevention is key. I know it's not sexy, and I know everybody wants to just live their life however they want to live it and then have modern medicine fix it. But it doesn't work. There is no fix for Alzheimer's disease. Once you got it, you got it. When you got cancer, you got it. So the only chance is preventing it, right? So again, the take-home message I want to convey today is what we're seeing with all the research in Alzheimer's is that when you get it at 80 years old, it's because of stuff you did when you were 50 years old. Not unlike skin cancer, right? Everybody gets it, right? I get skin cancer when I'm 70. It's because of all the unprotected sun exposure I got when I was 20 and 30. Same thing with Alzheimer's disease, right? Diet, nutrition, exercise. I mean, these are things that are core values to any health, and we're seeing a huge correlation with Alzheimer's disease, right? Limit the carbohydrates, if not eliminate them completely. Make sure you're supplementing properly with antioxidants, getting proper rest and exercise, and you're going to go a long way towards preventing getting Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Okay, I know everyone out there is watching probably has someone they know, a friend or a family member, that has suffered with this, and it's not fun to watch, right? It's not fun for people to go through. It's not fun for their family to experience. It's a burden. It's a terrible way, to be honest with you, to pass on from this life. So if there's anything I said today that you can take home and add some value to your life and your family's life to help prevent this, then it was worth my time. So hopefully everybody enjoyed this. I could go on for probably a while on these videos, but I like to keep them kind of short so you actually watch them. So hopefully everybody enjoyed this video today. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can comment below this video. Give it a thumbs up if you like the content, obviously. Share it with anybody who needs it. If you're seeing this on an email or something, feel free to pass it along, or on our YouTube page. Hopefully this was valuable today. If you'd like to see more content like this, just let me know. I'll pretty much do a video on anything anybody wants to hear about, or anything anybody wants to know about. So hopefully everyone had a good 4th of July. I'm cutting this right afterwards. Hopefully everyone had a good time. Hopefully this was a good video for you today. And we'll be here for you. If you have any questions, let us know. Have a great day.